How does an Uber or Lyft accident claim work when you are the driver of the Uber or Lyft vehicle? That's what we're going to tackle today in this video. And this one is a unique question that has some different angles to it. It is still about, number one, insurance availability and how that all works. That's what's very unique in these Uber Lyft cases. You need to know exactly what that is. And then number two is the evidence. That's pretty standard no matter whether you're the driver or a passenger or whatever, but we'll go through that as well so you know as a rideshare driver what evidence to be looking for. Hi, I'm Ted Spalding. I'm an Atlanta personal injury trial attorney. I've been practicing for almost 20 years now, and the point of this video is not to try to sell you on my services, but for me to try to give some of my knowledge to you all so you can be better personal injury either clients for an attorney or on your own if you're trying to handle this claim. Being informed is very, very important. I hope this video helps you with that, and certainly comment below with any questions or direct comments on the video. Be happy to hear from you. So let's dive right in. First and foremost, most important thing that's different with these Uber and Lyft situations, especially when you are the driver, not at fault, obviously, is how does insurance work to cover your personal injury claim? Here's where it gets interesting. So obviously you're not the at-fault party, so Uber and Lyft is not liable for the case. It is a third party who's liable. So it's traditional car wreck case in that sense. So your first place that you're looking is what's called liability insurance. So that third party, how much insurance coverage do they have? It is the first and foremost person, if you will, insurance company that owes you for your damages. So that's traditional. Here's where it gets more complicated. Then it becomes, what if any UM coverage is available? Now we're turning to Uber or Lyft, but we're also turning to your personal policy. So here's where it gets real interesting and a couple of loopholes here. Number one, what state are you in? In Georgia, for instance, it is normally not the Uber UM that comes first or the Lyft UM that comes first. It's your personal UM on your vehicle. You might have it. You have your own policy. So does that have coverage? Now here's the scare. Hopefully you informed your insurance company that you were using your vehicle for rideshare. Why? If you didn't, it is a normal exclusion in a policy. Check for it. If you didn't tell them and you've got that exclusion in there, which you probably do, you will not be able to use your UM. It doesn't apply. It's excluded. So be very careful. I always recommend that you go ahead and be upfront with your insurance company. Once you start doing it, you ought to call them right away. They need to adjust their premium because of it, but it then provides an extra layer of UM because here's how it works. Now you have liability. You've got your UM that would then cover. Then you additionally have Uber Lyft. Now, things have been changing. So by the time you watch this video, it may have changed again. Who knows, right? It's ever evolving. But currently, for instance, Uber has two different policies. They've got the traditional UM on their auto that might apply. And then they also have what they've started doing, which is occupational insurance coverage. Now, both of these depend on what stage you were in. So, for instance, it depends on, did you have a passenger in the vehicle driving them somewhere? That's full coverage. All right. And traditionally what it would be under UM is you would get the max amount of UM coverage. They would have layers. If you had a passenger in the vehicle driving them at the time, you get the max amount, which at the time was $1 million. I believe it might still be UM coverage. Then if you had the app on and you were on your way to pick someone up, it was a lower level, like 500,000. Then if you were sitting in your vehicle with the app on looking for work, meaning looking for a ride, and a wreck occurs, for instance, or you're out of light or something like that and someone rear ends you, it's an even lower amount. Now, what they're also doing now is saying only the occupational coverage applies, which is basically like med pay. It says we will pay you for your medical costs up to $1 million, that sort of thing, not pain and suffering, those sorts of things. So you want to fight that it should be UM plus occupational in those scenarios. So again, where oftentimes lawyers are needing to be involved in these Uber and Lyft cases is because of these insurance plays, especially in bigger injury cases. You need all the layers of insurance possible. So those are the important things there. It's both, did you tell your insurance company you're ride sharing and therefore the exclusion doesn't apply? And number two, did you have the app on? Were you actively en route to pick someone up, meaning you accepted a ride? Or did you already have a passenger in, and the interplay between that and the occupational coverage? So that's the very unique thing with Uber Lyft when you're a rideshare driver who is injured and looking to have your damages covered. Then the evidence is going to be the same regardless of what type of Uber Lyft case you have. Okay, whether you're a rider, a passenger, or whatever. But remember, as a rider, there are several of them. Number one, most important, cameras. Did you set up like a lot of folks did? And I hope you did, because I would recommend everybody does this. Dash cam that will prove who was at fault. Did you, what about camera set up to point inside, maybe showed your reaction in the collision? Did you have any of that? And is there any in-camera app functions and that sort of thing? Again, things evolve. Uber might start doing that at some point. Maybe they already have, that sort of thing. So cameras. Number two, call the police, please. You are involved. You are a driver. You have a right to call the police. Do it. They will determine fault. So hopefully you have done that. And then the last is, again, if there's going to be an argument over layers of coverage, were you driving? Had you picked someone up? You want to take screenshots immediately, that as soon as you can, after you're safe, of the actual ride, when you accepted it. It should show all that. Take screenshots to save all those things, that you had a passenger in the vehicle at the time. Of course, you have a police report. It will show that there was a passenger in there to prove you were actively transporting a passenger versus did you just have the app on versus the going toward a route at the time. So save that evidence. Don't rely on Uber or Lyft to get that evidence for you. Things get lost. Information's wrong, that sort of thing. You want to protect your rights. So this is the difference in what happens when you have an Uber Lyft accident and you're the rideshare driver who is injured. I hope this helps. I've got other videos on other topics, similar car accident ins and outs, and other Uber and Lyft type claims. Please look at those. Comment below. Thank you so much for watching.